Thank you for listening and welcome to the Life Podcast, a proud member of the Eventide Entertainment Podcast Network. I'm your host, Don Smith. I sit down for some good old-fashioned one-on-one with Dan Andrick, a newish comic with some of my favorite true stories. If you enjoy the show, like and follow the Life 1069 on Facebook and Don Smith Comedy on Twitter, or tune in live on Tuesdays from 7 to 9 p.m. on WWSU 106.9 FM, or you can stream the show live at wwsu1069.org.
The brutal presence overwhelms me. The brutal presence overwhelms me.
You ever been in a cockpit before?
No, sir, I've never been up in a plane before.
You ever seen a grown man naked?
All right, welcome back to the Life Radio Show. We are pressing forward. We're going to get this. We're going to get this thing solved, situated. I don't know what the hell we're doing. We're going to do something. We're going to talk. Anyway, Eric Busio is we booted him out. We booted out Kyle Jansen. I sat in here by myself for a little while and cried. And now we have Dan Andrick is over in the hot seat now.
How you doing, Don?
I'm doing all right, except I used the word hot seat, and I hate people that do that. Now I hate myself.
No, don't hate yourself, man. You have so many great qualities that you can live for besides just using out-of-date terms.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
I'm a positive guy.
You are. That's one of the things I picked up about you. You know, when I finally figured out who you were after charging you for all of our shows that you came in.
No, that's okay. I've only been performing at your show, and you asked me if I was a comic. Yeah, that's cool. Obviously, I'm not an impact player at all.
Well, you might be now. I wasn't then. I didn't watch a lot of the open mics there for a while. I was just.
It's hard here because this is one of the few places that you can actually get onto a real stage and do an open mic. So you get a big flood of people. I mean, it's always new faces coming through here. So I mean, that's a really cool part about this place that I like. That I get to see so many different people.
Yeah, one of the reasons I stopped watching is I would have some people as their first time up, and if they found out, they would start hitting me up on Facebook. What'd you think about that? And I figure it's a lot easier to lie if I didn't watch it. That way I don't have to lie and just say, I didn't get it. I was busy out at the bar. I didn't get a chance to see it. Oh, I'll catch the next one, I promise. And then,
I guess that makes me odd because I never ask how I do ever when I get off stage. Anybody.
That's good. You shouldn't have to, because if you did good on stage, you know you did. That's one of the lovely things about comedy and live performance. You know.
I think it's a little bit more that it shows that you care, and it's like if you care about what you're doing, you're not as good. If you go up there in comedy and you don't care whether you're good or bad, I think that's when you're at your best.
Probably. I know I've had some of my best sets when I was mad at something and really didn't pay too much attention to what I was doing, other than just.
Oh yeah, I've done that too.
Hitting the punch is a little harder, I think, and that's. That's fun. So how long have you been performing comedy?
Just under a year now. I started back in September of this year. September of 2018. So I'm a rookie still.
Wow, yeah, just what? 7 months, maybe?
Yeah, 9 months into this. Yeah, it was one of those things
well,
where
no wonder I didn't know who you were. What made you start performing? I know you have some interesting stories that we'll get into later, I hope. But what made you decide to take the leap on stage and start telling jokes?
I've always had this natural ability to tell entertaining stories. I mean, it goes even back as far as when I was a kid, and I was in therapy, and my therapist pulled my parents aside one day and said, I hate to do this, but I ethically can't take your money anymore because I can't do anything more with your son. But his stories are entertaining, and I don't mind him coming back, but I can't charge you to listen to his stories anymore.
That's funny. That's a surprising story. I've never actually heard that before from
me.
You wore out your therapist is basically what you're saying.
Multiple therapists.
Oh man.
Well, I spent so much time doing that kind of thing and talking to people on that kind of level, and as I progressed in life, I worked in customer service and stuff, and I was just kind of
Well,
like,
that'll drive you into therapy right there.
exactly. And I was kind of like, well, I mean, maybe if I just stood up there and people just had the, okay, I got to laugh at what's coming out of his mouth, not trying to figure it out. Maybe I could do something with that. So I took a crack at it one night, and I've been doing good since then, I think.
Well, that's good. I think I saw you on stage once or twice. I haven't, like I said, I don't stand here very often.
Well, this Thursday, it's funny you bring that up. I have this show. I think you might know of it, the W.O. Wright show. There's another comic.
I might have a chance to watch that one. I'm not sure.
Yes, I think Don Smith is going to be on that bill too.
Oh, that guy.
He's an amazing guy.
Yeah, I've heard mixed reviews. But no, I'm looking forward to that one. I actually heard that the W.O. Wright show last week went fairly well. And, I heard it went tremendous.
Yeah, I heard that it went over well. I mean, I think it's an interesting show. It's not your typical run-of-the-mill comedy show. It's got a little variety entertainment to it.
That's why I was a little bit worried, because a lot of times when you put that kind of thing, oh great, sorry, I'm on call tonight, and I have a feeling that's one that they're going to call.
Yeah,
and it's not really something that we're supposed to mess with.
Yeah,
but that's how it is. Anyway, but no, I a lot of times, because he said he was gonna mix it up and have some music in between the comics, and I have not seen a lot of venues where that's advisable or where it works very well. Usually, when you mix comedy and music together, it's kind of tragic.
Look, to be honest, I fell victim to that twice on this stage here at Wiley's on Sunday Night Comics, because twice I had to follow this wonderful comic, John Chesser, out of Indy, who sings with his guitar. So when you come up after a singing comedian that you tell jokes, it's like a total mood change completely.
Yeah, it is. A lot of times it's. We've had this conversation on this show before, as far as comedians with guitars on open mic night. And,
I was out of luck. He sung a 4-minute song about his midget girlfriend. How do you follow that, really?
I don't know. Interpretive dance. I'm not. Yeah, that's. But no, I was asked on my show how I react when in an open mic when a comedian gets up with a guitar. It's like, oh well, that's when I walk out to the bar. Because and I know that's terrible, but it's kind of not the same thing. Open mic thing, there are too many. There are just too. You see that too often where it just doesn't go well. But no, I mean, as far as actual like music,
yeah,
not comedy
I've
music,
not experienced that yet, so that's something that's going to be new to me, because I don't know. It could work, I think. Like a vaudeville show.
It seemed to have worked the last time, last week when he did the show the first time there, and it's just in my experience. I know I've done a couple shows where they said we're going to have music, and I did a show. It was my first year performing. I did a show at I'm not going to say exactly where, but I did a show where it was a music festival, and they wanted comedians to go up in between the bands while the bands were breaking down and setting up for the next band to go up.
Okay.
Worst idea. I mean, it's not a good idea, because the thing is, you're going to have to compete over bands yelling, "Oh, that's mine!" And you got all this going on behind you, and you're trying to hold the crowd's entertainment and entertain them and hold their attention. It's just, and if it's a music crowd, they're not going to care about comedy. If it's a comedy crowd, they're not going to be as interested in music. So that one didn't work very well. It was a fun show. It was a good experience, but like I said, it was. I think within 6 months of me performing is when I did this. And I was fairly clean. I did fairly clean shows at the time. I still do fairly clean, but I get a little bad every now and then. But
yeah, I struggle with that term, clean comedy, nowadays. Yeah. It almost bothers me in a sense with the.
Well, to me, it was a challenge to be able to be funny without without profanity.
Oh, I get that, but I don't think it's necessarily just profanity or not, because I can I could be pretty dirty without saying anything.
Oh, absolutely,
without saying anything at all.
Yeah, but this one I went up. I was scheduled to go up at 10 o'clock in the morning. because it was an all-day music.
Oh yeah,
festival.
that's when the comedy fans are out. 10 o'clock in the morning. Like, boy,
but there was
I need to laugh.
There was nobody there. Basically, that audience was my mom, my wife, the band getting off stage, the band getting ready to go on, and 3 teenage girls.
Nice.
Surprisingly, not my worst audience.
No, I mean, at least you knew that whether they were paying attention or not.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They were, and there was. It didn't go terribly. I've had much worse shows with seemingly better audiences, but no, it was. But no, I'm glad that it worked last week. I hope it continues to at WO Rights. So we'll see what happens this week. It'll be fun either way, I'm sure.
I'm guaranteeing it's going to be a fun time because, darn it, I always have fun.
That's the idea. So your stories that where your therapist's out. We were talking. We were talking yesterday a little bit before at the Comics Hang about B.B. King.
Yeah,
the king of the blues. And
R&B legend, yeah.
Yes, R&B legend, B.B. King, fantastic guitarist.
Wonderful, American treasure.
I have B.B. King in my truck, on my flash drive in my truck that I listen to every now and then, because why not? But you have an interesting story about oatmeal and B.B. King.
Because, when you hear oatmeal, you're like, wow. This is interesting material here.
Right, exactly, because how do you go wrong with an oatmeal story?
No, because I'm sure people are a little scratching their heads right now. How do B.B. King and oatmeal go together? Well, let Dan shed some light on this for you.
Absolutely.
Quite a few years ago, I used to be a chef, and me and a buddy of mine, we were working at this restaurant, and we had to work the night shift, too, and then come back first thing in the morning. So being young and restaurant people, we decided, hey, we're going to stay up all night and just party all night, and just go straight to work. It's only a few hours. We'll cop a buzz and then go cook omelets. It was a great idea.
Right, yeah, perfect plan.
Yeah, we rolled down to the end of our day. And the ticket comes back, orders a bowl of oatmeal, and I work in an establishment that some reason has an after 10 o'clock oatmeal policy. Like, we can't make it for anybody at any time. So we're always...
Which is understandable.
It is.
Because oatmeal...
is evil.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's terrible.
Actually, when I used to wash dishes in a restaurant as a teenager, and that was the worst possible thing to get dried on a plate. But go ahead.
Yeah, but it's so healthy because it cleans us out, but it sticks to everything else known to man and turns into concrete. So
yeah,
you tell me.
It's not healthy. That's a myth.
Big oameal, just trying to sell the myth
oatmeal
to us.
Yep, that's what it is. Big oat. It was those Quakers.
Those Quakers, they're out for that $1. They thuggin' and buggin', man.
Yeah, the Thuggin' and Buggin' Quakers. I think we just named this episode, by the way, the Thuggin' and Buggin' Quakers.
The Thuggin' and Buggin' Quakers. I mean, why not? So,
Go ahead.
As we're at the end of the day, this ticket comes up, and, I'm about ready to leave, and I do the normal thing I do. I just yell at the incompetent server that has done this. Hopefully it's a mistake, but I yell at them anyways, because when you work
because they're servers, and that's what they're there for.
When you work in a kitchen, you're a sensitive person. We've all met Gordon Ramsay on TV.
Right.
So, I look at this ticket, and I'm like, what the... And the manager of the hotel comes floating back to me, and he just... Floating back. Floating back. All right, and he lays into me about making this oatmeal. I'm like, why am I making this bowl of oatmeal and tell everyone else now? He goes, look, this is B.B. King's oatmeal, and he is a national treasure. He has the diabetes, and his sugar is low, and this is the only thing his diet will let him eat. You need to make his oatmeal for him. I'm like, oh, okay, you can float away now, Norman.
Yeah, you can go.
Now you see, he floated towards me with that. I mean, I'd never been hissed at so angrily in my life. So I like, all right, sure, we'll make the oatmeal. Now my buddy's in the back. He's like, I got it. It's all me. So I hear him back there, and I start to hear. I'm like, oh gosh. I hope he's not. No, that's got to go in the appropriate place. That isn't going where I think it's going to go. But yet. I want to leave. It's been a long night, and that bowl of oatmeal gets set up in the window by my friend here, and he looks right at me, and he's like, B.B. King going to taste me today.
Yeah, that's a... I don't think anybody needed to hear that, but go on.
Yeah, no. Look, I want to share the full graphicness of the story always.
That's true.
As As that waitress came back for that bowl of oatmeal, I was sitting with that moral dilemma. I was like, do I let this go, like a rotten human being, or do I save BB King's oatmeal right now? So I did the right thing. I smacked it out of her hand before she could leave with it, and I turned around and I made BB King oatmeal. So
See, I like how you let her go ahead and pick it up and then slapped it out of her hand rather than just say, no, put that back down. You had to...
I was really on the fence.
You have a flair for the dramatic.
I was on the fence, man. I really was going to let it go. I really was. But, I mean, at that last moment, I was like, the man is a national treasure. I do like his music. I can't. It's not like he yelled at me, okay? He didn't do anything wrong here.
He didn't do anything wrong. He just ordered oatmeal because of his diabetes.
He didn't know, so I shouldn't be angry. And that got me being a better person at the last minute.
Right. Restaurant stories are always fun.
Oh, yes, they are.
Because that's why when I go into a restaurant, I am as polite as can be.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if there's a problem, I let them know after I finish eating. I don't send food back. That's a bad move. It's a bad move.
It's all in how you do it. It is really in how you do it.
But, yeah, that's...
If you send it back the right way, be like, look, this is me. I'm sorry. I apologize. Don't be hateful to them. They will fix you right up.
Yeah.
You lay into them. They touch your food when you don't see it.
Or if you come in, 10 minutes or less before closing time. That's something I've always done is, if I go into a restaurant and it's kind of late, the first thing I ask is, what time do you close? If it's within 15 minutes, I'll say, thank you. I'll go down the road. And a lot of times, of course, the wait staff will say, no, you're okay, come on in. But the thing is, the wait staff's not the one that just cleaned the grill in the back.
That's right.
I know how this works.
I've been a chef. I've done this myself. I know how it is.
Yeah, I worked in a restaurant all my teenage years, all through junior high, high school, all that crap. And we had one fella that it seemed like almost every Friday night, when we're ready to get out of there on a Friday night, but almost every Friday night, this guy would come in and he'd order a pizza, which was took the longest to cook of anything on the menu. And he would come in and do that between 5 and 2 minutes before closing. And we would be furious. And one time the cook was over there. Had the pizza out of the oven. He's getting ready. He's over there grumbling. He's cutting it, and he stops for a second. He just has the big cutting blade sitting on top of the pizza. And I just walked by and said, we ain't got time for that, and smacked that blade. 3/4 of the pizza slid off the table and landed upside down on the tile floor.
Ouch.
That had not been mopped since the previous night.
I like where this is going.
And he was not going to make a new pizza and take another 28 to 30 minutes to cook it.
Nope.
So he flipped it back over. There were 3 of us down there with spoons, spooning cheese and sauce off of the tile, and he sprinkled a little more cheese, stuck it in the oven to melt the cheese, sent it on out. And
the heat killed the bacteria. The man was fine.
Yeah.
It's all good.
It's just a little extra floor spice.
That's
is
right,
all that
man.
was, and that's. It's a lovely story of restaurant revenge that you just have to be careful when you're out there, because you got to figure in a restaurant they're not making much anyway. They're overworked, they're tired, they've been there too long, they've dealt with crappy people all day, and you come in 5 to 10 minutes before they close, and you're just one more crappy person to them that they're already angry at.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And let's lead into their next issue. This is why they should be allowed to drink while they work.
Oh, absolutely. That's it. And there's that rule too, so they can't even do that.
I know.
Or at least step out and smoke a little something,
whatever. I mean, I don't care as long as my food tastes good. Which
right,
stoners are the best cooks, I think.
Well, yeah, they know they're most concerned about what it's going to taste like after.
You're darn right
they're
they
probably going to eat half of it before it's done cooking.
Or make themselves one. I mean, they're concerned. They are concerned.
So we've talked about a few of your other stories. I don't remember a lot of them because some of them are just kind of crazy. Do you have I'm sure you have many. Do you have one that you feel like sharing to fill some airtime?
Oh, sure. I mean, we got plenty of them. My issue is I'm trying to figure out what is What's radio friendly? I mean, I got some interesting ones.
I don't really worry about content as much as language. That's really where they get on me at with the radio shows is the language. So content.
You just heard a story from me about how I ended up cooking a bowl of oatmeal for BB King because somebody else spit in. You think? Let's try this one. You ever played mailbox baseball?
A long time ago, yes.
Yeah, as a youth, we all remember this
Yes.
one. I was talking to a buddy of mine the other night, and this one came up. We were teenagers, rolling around, took this girl out with us, and she'd never played mailbox baseball before, so she wanted to take a crack at it. So we're like, cool. Pull the minivan over, and she gets out, she takes the bat, she walks over, squares off to that mailbox, and she comes down on it like an executioner's axe, like whack! That bat bounces straight off that mailbox and smacks her right in the face and takes her to the ground. Now, that didn't stop her. She jumped back up. She hit that mailbox a second time to the same result, to whack her back in the face a second time and break her nose this time.
Oh, so she was determined.
She was very determined. Now, you wonder what kind of a mailbox swings back. It was on a giant spring. So it just took that baseball shot down and sprung it back into her
face.
Right,
that's
like the teeth buster thing. From the playground. That's basically about the extent.
Those were great.
Yeah, those were good idea there. I mean,
oh yeah. As a kid, they weren't bad, but I was a big kid, so I was always the one that bent the spring all the way over and then fell off of it, and it smacked me in the nuts as it came back.
Yeah, well, that's good. At least you weren't the little kid that couldn't move it, and someone pushed them in like face first into it.
Yeah, that was fun too. I pushed it.
They had the jailhouse smile.
Yeah.
You work 2 packs of Marlboros now, boy. I mean, there's it's a lot of interesting things that go on in my life. I end up strange stuff. Like I watched some girl knock herself out by hitting a mailbox with a baseball bat. But I mean,
right, yeah. And did you let her swing a third time, or did she finally?
She couldn't get back up. I mean, she was unconscious and bleeding. Now,
okay, so she fully knocked herself.
Oh
out.
yeah, that was not an undersell. I mean, she was like, you could have world championship belted her at that point in time because she wasn't banking that standing 9 count for sure.
Nice.
And I'll tell you, if I owned that house, there's no way I'd have called the cops if I seen that because that I'd been laughing on the ground so hard.
Oh yeah,
it makes me wish that people had cameras back then in the day because that would be a viral video today. This girl knocking herself out, 2 shots on a mailbox.
Absolutely. I am so glad we didn't have them.
Isn't that nice?
Oh yeah.
Because all our stories from our youth are like crimes and abuse and bullying.
Exactly. Yeah, we would have been in jail.
Yeah. Yeah. No, we had this one kid. We used to love to hang out with him. Yeah, we gave him Indian burns and everything and wedgies and atomic twisters. He loved it.
We were in our late teens, early 20s. We had a friend that hung around with us. I'm not going to give his name because he still exists somewhere.
His name's Chet, probably.
No, Bill.
Well, Chet, it's usually a Chet.
And he, for some reason, when he got drunk at our parties, for some reason, he would always end up naked. And how that started is somebody dared him for a 6-pack of beer, dared him to run around the block and butt naked, screaming. I forget what he was screaming. I don't think I can say it on the air.
Not important, really, at this point in time.
Yeah, it wasn't really important, but he does it. Yeah. By the time he comes back, we have already chugged all of his beer.
Nah.
So he was furious, but that did not stop him from continuing to run around the rest of the party, the rest of the night naked.
Wow, that's
just didn't bother to put a scrap of clothes on. He would. There was this girl that was at a lot of our parties that he had the hots for, and every time she got ready to leave the party, we'd make sure we let Bill know that she was on the way out because he would run out naked, run after her. And the one time was hilarious because he's got his junk like
just one time was funny, huh?
Oh, well,
not all of them.
He's got, he would just like have his junk on her window and stuff as she's trying to get out of the driveway, and yeah, he was a very disturbed individual.
Again,
I remember one time somebody came up behind him and pushed him into a thorn bush.
Nice.
Yeah, because he was relieving himself into a thorn bush again, naked, and somebody came up behind, just went, and he fell off the porch right into the bush, and just laid there and screamed for like 20
What?
minutes till the
Yeah.
cop showed up and wondered why Bill was naked in the thorn bush.
Probably just told him to go ahead and have a good night. Boys will be boys. That'd be a hate crime nowadays. Yeah.
That it would.
Yeah.
Only because he had a lisp.
Well,
only-
yeah. I mean, that's now you're being insensitive.
Right. That's the only reason he had that little lisp going, and that would have been a problem.
Ugh.
Yeah, he was a little sensitive about it.
A little sensitive. His name's Stephen Simons. I'm Stephen Simons from Savannah, Georgia.
Yeah, he was
I drive
terrible.
a Scion.
He didn't talk quite like that, but it was there was. See, I always loved old stories like that because, like you said, they are crimes nowadays.
Crimes
and
now.
That would have been
Yeah, I mean, we're hateful people. I mean, like, I feel bad when my mom brings up one of my handicap friends from elementary school, and she always likes to talk about the time that she dropped him out of a fire truck.
Yeah, why not?
I mean, yeah. Well, I mean, my mom's heart was in the right place with this one. Her brain, not
Her
so
heart
much.
was in the right place
Not
as far
so
as
much.
dropping the kid outside of the. Now,
Well,
okay, go
the
ahead.
firefighters are letting everyone else run through the cab of the fire truck on this field trip, and the kid had cerebral palsy, and he was in a wheelchair, and like, well, you can't go through there because you have cerebral palsy, and we
Right.
can't do it. My mom's like, no, I got it. So she convinced him. The firefighter gets him up through there, and he gets the passenger seat, and, she's like, oh, I'll catch him. So the guy, like, lets go of him, and she just, like, looks at him just careen down the fire truck and
I wasn't
pancake
ready.
on the floor. I mean, it was nice. That's why you sign releases, I guess, when
yeah, exactly.
when you take your kid on a field trip. I mean, a stranger just drops them, you're
Right.
off the hook.
Yeah,
Well, that's cool. I mean,
that's the way it was back then.
day to day. I mean, these things come up.
See, nowadays there would have been a
Oh,
complaint
yeah.
filed that there wasn't a wheelchair access into the fire truck.
Oh, obviously,
Yeah.
because I mean, what about those handicapped firefighters? Don't
Right.
they deserve access too?
Right.
I mean, I'm still wondering why it's not in Braille as well.
Yeah, it should be. It
Yeah.
should be.
I
yeah.
mean, why aren't traffic signs in Braille?
just
We do the
because
18.
you can't reach them, they're too far away from
Well,
the car to reach.
Now you're being insensitive.
Exactly. Well, yeah, I'm making fun of the short-armed.
You
Yeah.
are. Yeah. I mean, they
It's,
put it.
I'm not very woke, Dan. I'm not very woke apparently. See, I thought I was. I thought I was doing better, and now you have made sure to let me know that I am still. I'm a Neanderthal.
That's good though.
Yeah.
I mean, we both.
I guess
do-
recognizing the problem is part of solving it. I guess is what they say.
I like to really just point it out and let other people.
Right.
That,
That's the fun part. Is
Yeah.
just to point it out, and that way you're now ridiculing them.
exactly. I mean,
Completely understandable.
totally. I'm not here to fix anything. I'm just here to tell you guys what I notice you're doing wrong. I mean,
Right.
There's
Which
nothing
that's the American
helpful
way
about
That's-
that.
Yeah, that's the American way right there.
That's right.
All right. All right, we're going to have to take a little break and play some music, and we will be back probably with more stories. And I do have some news stories we can cover that probably aren't nearly as interesting as a girl knocking herself out with a baseball bat and a mailbox.
Yeah. Well,
But,
we'll see what's in the store.
Yeah, we'll try. We'll give it a shot. All right. All right, stick around. We'll be right back.
something you should know. I'm gonna prove you wrong. Devour the crow. Better pay attention. There's something you should know. I'm gonna prove you wrong. Devour the crow. 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 Powerless. Powerless. Devouring. The
Hey, this is Don Smith with the Life Radio Show on WWSU 106.9 FM. I want to let you know that the World Series of Comedy is back at Wiley's Comedy Club this year. That's right, from May 28th through June 1st. 40 top comedians will compete for bragging rights, prizes, and the chance to go to the main event in St. Louis to compete against the top 100 comics in the country. This is a great chance to come out and support your favorite local comics and see some up-and-coming funny people doing what they do best. Tickets are available at wileyscomedy.com. See them all now while they still work cheap.
Hello there. My name is Wallace J. Crumplebottom, and when it's early in the morning, there's nothing that gets me ready for a long day of bean counting quite like a good breakfast. And there's no better breakfast than a brand new episode of The Breakfast Lads. Take it from me, I'm British, so I must know what I'm talking about. Tune in every Wednesday at 8 a.m. for a brand new episode of The Breakfast Lads, brought to you by Eventide Entertainment.
Hey man, this is Donnie Baker at Wiley's Comedy Club, and you're listening to WWSU 106.9. I swear to God.
All right, welcome back to the Life Radio Show. I'm your host Don Smith. We are we're gonna press through right to the end.
That's right.
We're still recording. We are not live tonight in the studio, so if we've said anything that offends you, you can't come and do anything about it because we won't be here. We're recording at Wiley's Comedy Club tonight, in the showroom, sitting right next to the stage, and isn't that exciting? Dan Andrick is still in with me.
I am, for now,
until you get sick of it and run out.
That's right.
But we have, we'll make it through.
Or the fumes take over.
Or whatever you just took kicks in.
Yeah, I mean, they're bug bombing the place. That's why it's open tonight.
Right, exactly. That's why there aren't any comics here other than us.
That's right.
So there aren't any comics here.
That's right.
But you pointed out during the break that we have not yet talked about your career as a writer for the Gym City Tonight TV show.
That is correct.
Yeah. And I'm a writer too, but I haven't written a thing for them. So.
You were also our inaugural guest as well.
That is true. I was on the episode 1. Before they got good.
Yeah. I mean, you're that warm-up chick.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I'm the
You're the practice girl.
Yeah, I was going to go somewhere with that, but I'm not going to go there.
Yeah, PG-13, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was the throwaway guest. In case it didn't work out, it's just him. So
yeah.
We're good.
Figured we'd have Don to blame.
Yeah, exactly. So how's that going? They just released episode 5, didn't
6.
they? 6
Episode
just released.
6 just wrapped up.
I have to get caught up again.
Yeah, well, it was the remote. We just filmed it this past week at the Dayton Dragons opening day.
Oh, okay.
So we got to have fun, run around the Dragons, opening day, get taken in all that glory.
Oh, that's
nothing like
fantastic.
a lovely day for baseball in Dayton.
Yeah, I have never been to a Dragons game. It's one more thing in this town I haven't done.
That was actually the first.
There's no end to the list of things I have not achieved in my lifetime. So.
Don't be so hard on yourself. That was my first Dayton Dragons game as well.
Okay. Yeah.
Which kind of staggering when you think about that we've literally sold that stadium out in this town for 20 consecutive years.
Really?
It actually, at this point in time, the record has moved up to it has the most consecutive sellouts of any sport in the entire continent of North America.
Well, that's crazy right there. The Dayton Dragons.
Dayton Dragons. That we are. Look, man, we are on the top of some good list in the world. And we love our minor league baseball team here.
Yeah, and our heroin. That's
yeah. Because this isn't a Narcan town. This is a Narcan town.
That it is.
That's right. We're positive around here.
Oh yeah. So how's the writing going for that? Are you one of the head writers, or are you just one of the group?
I show up the most, so we'll leave it at that.
There you go.
It's an interesting group. Showing up is kind of an ambiguous term with this group because we have writers that are in different states. We have writers that don't make meetings, so to speak, but through using Facebook, they're present in a way because you can get those ideas across. And we're all comics, most of us. We all see each other throughout the week and at different shows. So it's nice how we can kind of always just be working at it, even when two of them bump into each other and then it's passed to a third guy and then to a fourth. I mean, the group might not be sitting in the same room, but I like the way it all works together as like an organism.
Well, yeah, it's still the whole conglomerate of heads getting together to figure something out funny. That's good. As opposed to this show where it's just two of us now.
Yeah, it is. But, I mean, you had to let the monkeys go because, the trainer said it was past their time for the day.
Yeah, that's true. Well, they had to get back for more experiments.
That's right. Cosmetics are dangerous.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. I know I don't want to wear lipstick that hasn't been tested already. Well, that's just – I'm selfish like that.
I'd prefer if they tested on children because at least I'd know how it actually affects a human. But that's just me.
That's true.
Maybe that's
true.
insensitive.
We need to get into to children testing. Yes.
If we test it on kids, look, they're young and no one's really attached to them
they'll
yet.
recover.
Yeah,
and we can make more.
Exactly.
Right.
Thank you.
That's like that's a renewable energy source.
Yeah, they're the future for a reason because we can keep making them to make sure we're safe in the future.
Yeah, and every one you make is younger than the last one.
That's right. See, it's like a new model, so you have the upgrades. I don't see where the downside is. Why are we wasting good animals?
You have a very good point. Because animals will just go extinct if you keep doing the same thing. Kids, you can make more.
Exactly.
All right.
You want to ask the dodo? Oh, was that insensitive?
Exactly. Can't.
Is that too soon?
You can't.
Was that too soon? Like, that was when I jumped on the whole let's make fun of Megalodon thing, and everyone's like, whoa, Dan, that's insensitive.
Yeah, well, Megalodon's still out there.
I saw that movie.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Jason Statham? Yeah, I saw that. Do you know what I mean?
All right, well, let's hit some news stories and see if we can find some other terrible things out there. A man in Santa Rosa, California, forced to reduce the size of his fence, got some payback on City Hall with the help of some naked mannequins. Jason Windus had built a 6-foot-tall fence to keep his 2 dogs in his yard. However, Windus was ordered to cut the $9,000 fence in half after a neighbor filed a complaint with the city, claiming it obstructed. I can't talk today. That's
okay. You don't need to for
thing. Yeah. For this, it's just a radio show.
Whatever. Just wing it. Hum a few bars.
Okay. Claiming that it obstructed the view of oncoming traffic for drivers at the intersection, according to Oakland station KTVU-TV. The city agreed and ordered Windus the alteration. What the heck? Who wrote this?
I don't know.
The city agreed and ordered Windus the alteration of the fence in half. Wow.
Well, I guess if
they made him cut it in half.
I guess if he really loved it, he wouldn't have cut it in half and let the real fence owner keep it.
Right.
Too religious.
Well, if you love a fence, cut it in half. If it doesn't grow back, it was never yours to begin with, I guess is what they say. Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, which Wendell said he didn't consider fair. He said, as you drive through the neighborhood, you'll see that nobody else's fence had to be cut down but mine. So he complied, but not without making his own kind of offbeat statement. Wendell put a bunch of naked mannequins he was saving for the right occasion right there in his front yard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because why not? If I had naked mannequins laying around and the city made me cut down my fence, they would realize that I had the fence up to protect my naked mannequins. That's just sensible right there.
Just I see this as just a normal day-to-day thing. I mean,
Right.
they should find some newsworthy stuff to print about that, would impact people and shock them like it's not a normal occurrence in life. I mean, we all have those piles of naked mannequins, right?
Who doesn't have some?
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
I mean, does he want to report that, air is good to breathe? Ooh. Water's still wet. Yeah, we got it.
that's
Tom
it.
Brady's good at football. Okay.
Is he? I just heard he cheats a lot. I don't know.
Well, that's the coach.
Oh, okay.
Bill a cheat. He
Belichick,
cheats.
yeah.
Tom Brady actually has.
Oh, Brady's in on it.
Well, probably.
It's not like he's saying, no, let's play this one fair. I don't want another ring.
I mean, there's got to be a flaw to him somewhere, isn't there?
Oh, yeah. It's going to come out. It's going to come out. And it's him and Dr. Phil. I'm waiting.
Dr. Phil's. I wouldn't. I'll blow Dr. Phil apart because he's really upset me ever since he put a weight loss book out when he was overweight. I mean, look,
he's still overweight, isn't he? He hasn't lost anything, has he?
No.
How do you put out a weight loss book when you're the same the whole time?
Yeah. I mean, look, I don't have anything against larger human beings, but don't write weight loss books when you're still a larger human being. Okay,
Right.
It's ridiculous. It's like me writing about my life in the Black Panther movement and being a young black youth in America struggling against the oppression of the white man.
Right. It would
absolutely nothing I would know anything about.
Yeah. Maybe that's what his weight loss book is. He just identifies.
You
as a
need to get
skinny
real
person.
with yourself, Don.
Y'all
I
need to
don't
get
know what I'm
real.
talking about at all.
Yep, I'm not even a doctor. I just made that term up.
I'm an electrician that liked Oprah's books.
Whatever fools Oprah, get me on TV again. That kind of slipped into Bill Clinton there in the end.
I have that problem too. Every time I do the Dr. Phil or Clinton, they turn into each other. It's like they're genetically linked.
You might be onto something there.
But yeah, I like to stick with the bread and butter and go Hank Hill on them.
That's true. If you want healthy plants, some people say you should talk to them. If you want delicious cheese, try playing hip-hop music. That's the finding of a recent experiment by researchers in Switzerland who set out to determine how sound waves might affect the microorganisms and give cheese its flavor. The experiment, titled Cheese in Surround Sound, started last fall with 9 22-pound wheels of Emmental cheese placed in 9 separate wooden crates. Each assorted fromage was played one of various types of sound waves and songs, including Mozart's The Magic Flute, Led Zeppelin's Stairway to Heaven, and Jazz We Got from the hip-hop legend A Tribe Called Quest. There was also one control cheese wheel, because you always have to have a control cheese wheel,
Of course.
that wasn't given any music at all. Poor, deprived cheese wheel. The cheeses were exposed to the music 24 hours a day for 6 months through a transmitter that focused the sound waves into the cheese wheels. Once the cheeses matured, they were analyzed by professional food technologists who concluded the cheese wheels exposed to music had a milder flavor compared with the control cheese. The group also determined the cheese that was played hip-hop and, quote, a discernibly stronger smell and stronger, fruitier taste than the other test samples. So there you go. Hip-hop cheese.
Yeah, I cannot understand why other countries think there is a problem with Americans when we have that much time on our hand to play music for our cheese.
This was in Switzerland.
Oh gosh.
Yeah,
Dang it.
the Swiss cheese.
Man, there's all sorts of holes in that theory then.
Exactly. I mean, holy.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. That's Swiss. Why not? It was either going to be in Switzerland or Wisconsin. That's really.
I really had my money on this is an American study. Like
Right,
this, I was
it
thinking like
sounds
MIT
frivolous
did
and
this
dumb.
or something or USC, one of the top nations.
Wright State.
Seemed a little too aggressive for Wright State.
Hey, let's play music to cheese.
Yeah, Wright State only seemingly does useful research, not things like.
Well, they can't afford to do any now. But
Be positive, Dawn.
yes, I am positive that they are broke. California man is turning heads on the state's roads and online with a customized jet ski modified to travel at motorcycle speeds on land. Nick Stemple said his friend's similar project inspired him to create his, quote, scoot ski vehicle, which features the body of a Sea-Doo jet ski but the wheels and engines of a Honda Elite motorcycle. Stemple told KMPH-TV, that's what happens when you wreck your scoot ski. He said, I love this thing. I've gotten rid of my other motorcycles. I ride this every single day so I can be just as cool as I was yesterday. He didn't say that. I added that. He said the unusual vehicle, which reaches speeds of about 70 miles per hour and gets 30 to 40 miles per gallon of gas, gets a lot of attention from surprised onlookers, but probably does not get him laid.
I'm hoping that there is a picture somewhere of this dude wearing a mesh tank top riding this thing.
On his scoot ski?
Yeah, I mean, because that says gangster.
Oh, yeah.
It
Nothing
really
says
does.
gangster like a Sea-Doo on the road.
It's like, hey, do you want to hang on to the back of my jet ski?
Yeah, just wrap your arms around me because we're off, mister.
Yeah. It's a rave rider. Don't worry. The streets are full of them.
That was one of the dumbest ones that I've ever read.
That one's up there, but I mean, there is that.
No, there's still dumber. There's always a dumber news story on this show.
Of course, but there is the plus to it that the guy was inventive enough to create this himself.
Right.
He didn't go to somebody else and buy this. This isn't on like Sky Mall.
That's true.
All right, that's a bigger problem. If this product exists on Sky Mall, we could just order it on a flight.
Will. This guy's going to make a fortune off of this. It's going to end up on Sky Mall. Yeah.
You see futures in big jet ski motorcycle crossover money.
Scoot ski, get it right.
I'm sorry I didn't. Do you have to skeet your scoot all the? I see. I can't even do it. I'm just. There's a hip hop joke there, and I'm just missing.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's fine. We don't
no,
need it.
It's too cheesy.
Well, play it some hip hop.
Yeah.
Dominican singer performed for 106 consecutive hours to break a Guinness World Record, but officials said his attempt was disqualified. Carlos Silver, that sounds like a porn name. Carlos Silver, who unsuccessfully attempted the same record in 2016, attempted to beat the record of 105 hours of consecutive singing, which was achieved by performer Sunil Wagmare. Silver's total, which involved more than 5,000 songs, surpassed Wagmare's, but the Guinness official said he failed to follow the rules set in place for the record, because you have to have rules for all these really dumb records. The rules allow singers to take breaks of up to 30 seconds between songs, but video evidence from Silver's attempt shows him taking breaks of up to 2 minutes.
What?
Can you believe that? The audacity of this man thinking that he could fool the Guinness judges in this manner. That is just...
Shut the front door. This is terrible.
I am appalled.
I don't know what in the French Horn has happened here.
I can't even continue this broadcast. I am so upset about this.
I mean, this is a bunch of fork.
Yeah, we take our Guinness record story seriously.
Yeah.
And I don't want some cheating piece of filth flying filth to deface the Guinness World Record in this manner.
Exactly.
It makes me
I mean,
sick.
it's hard to drink a Guinness off a record.
Exactly. Because it just runs everywhere, and then you try to play it, and it doesn't work anymore. It just sounds drunk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this sounds stain.
Oh, when did you get here, Dan? Sorry, I lost track of where I was.
Robot dogs that spit bees. That's what we were talking about. Robot
cool.
dogs that spit bees.
Yeah. See, here's how serious I take my Guinness World Record stories. I have another one.
I'm totally supportive of this.
Yeah, awesome. An Iowa entertainment venue announced its 150-pound pickleball paddle. 150-pound pickleball paddle has been certified as the world's largest pickleball paddle by the Guinness World Records. Smash Park, a West Des Moines venue featuring drinks, pickleball, and other yard games, announced, quote, Big Blue. A replica pickleball paddle measured 13.6 feet tall and 6.9 feet wide is now a Guinness World Record holder for largest pickleball paddle. The park said it is celebrating the record with a month of food and drink specials, including a 192-ounce Moscow Mule.
Do you realize I don't know what any of that stuff is? So that just sounded like you're describing a porn to me in a sense. At the giant paddles
That's a
at
big
the
pickleball paddle right
pickles and giant paddles at the Smash Ranch and ball records and stuff. I mean, I does that make me sound like I'm from a different planet? I don't know what
there.
pickleball.
Have you ever tried a Moscow Mule? Though it's really
It's
either like a Singapore sling or a Cleveland steamer. I'm not sure.
I don't know. As long as it's not a Puerto Rican pal driver, I'm cool. That's the rough one, the Puerto Rican pal driver.
Yep. Moscow Mule. Next thing you know, you end up with Trump as president.
Did that really happen?
The Moscow Mule?
No, this whole time I thought I've just been really intoxicated on mushrooms.
You were about to. Yeah, okay.
What? Do you think I was about ready?
No.
To let the door fly?
You've been doing great.
I have.
Been doing great. It's been a great day for this. Nobody has cursed on the air yet, and I have wanted to so many times.
Yeah, I know. It helped I spent all that time in the church today.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Because you just served how many people?
About 100 people, 110 people at a
and you cooked
community
for
meal.
all of them.
Yes.
What'd you cook?
I made turkey and noodles tonight, mashed potatoes, corn, and black forest cherry dessert.
Oh, that's I should have gone to church.
Should.
Yeah,
It's
who
good.
needs this radio show and I can go to church?
Yeah, I mean, it's good times for
I
everybody.
mean, I might burst into flames, but I mean,
well, it's a community meal
for
so-
turkey and noodles, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I am a pretty decent cook. I do know my way around the kitchen. So,
Yeah. Can you make me a bowl of oatmeal?
Look, Don, you bring it up one more time, I'll get my 4-page 8-lettered oatmeal out and let it fly.
Oh yeah, that's right. We don't want to do that.
I do have one of those in my pocket at all. I was very angry that day, my friend. Oatmeal just.
Can we get a sample of your just a taste of your oatmeal letter?
I can't, because if I don't read it, I'm going to say things that you're going to spend a lot of time bleeping, because it got ugly that day.
Oh wow!
I mean,
okay,
look.
so we can't even.
First
we
of all,
can't even
I mean,
get a sample.
like one of the major points in there is the fact that nobody actually likes what oatmeal tastes like.
Oh, no,
because anybody that says they like oatmeal, the first question you say is, "What do you put on it?" And they're always like, "Well, I put fruit in it, and I put brown sugar." I was
anything
like,
to make it not
exactly.
taste like
You
oatmeal,
like
yes.
everything else but the oatmeal in that bowl. That's the only reason you're adding the other crap. It's like you're trying to make blueberries taste worse by adding oatmeal
Right,
to it. That's
right.
what's really happening here. So I mean, it sticks to everything. I mean, like we touched on it earlier. I mean, that's what made me go off, is that you can't ever get that thing off of a pan. I mean, it is stuck.
absolutely
You
not.
can't
It's-
microwave it, and it's like concrete.
Yeah,
So I don't even know why we have concrete. Why don't we just use Quaker?
Yeah, I think hell for a restaurant worker is just nothing but oatmeal stuck to pans and plates.
Now that I'm bringing this up, and I got you on that ball, you're like, why don't more people have an extended letter of hating oatmeal in their?
Well, most people just don't have the energy to write that much. Yeah, most people don't have that. They'll start out "Dear Oatmeal," and that's usually where they leave off, because it's an attention span thing.
That's what
This
Big
day and
Oatmeal
age,
wants you
yeah.
to do. That's
exactly,
how they stay in control.
That's half the problem right there. Is you can't their pockets are they're deep in the pockets of schools, and that's
Oh yeah, I mean, look, they roll deep in them horse and buggies.
All right, we're going to have to get on to something else. You're going to get me all worked up over.
I know.
This
See,
too,
I just dragged you down that. It's like we're stuck in oatmeal talking about oatmeal because we can't get out of it.
It's just trudging along in a giant vat of oatmeal.
We ain't going
And,
anywhere,
welcome
are
to
we?
the Life Radio Show.
Yeah.
That's,
hey, when did you get here?
Yeah. A New Zealand town celebrated its annual festival with a Running of the Sheep event, featuring hundreds of sheep running through the streets. The TQT Volunteer Fire Brigade shared video on Facebook showing the sheep running through the streets of the city, which is known as the shearing capital of the world. The Saturday run was part of the Great New Zealand Muster, and the annual event that also includes the New Zealand Shearing Championships.
Is this where Ed's from?
Ed
Yeah.
John?
No,
Ed
Sheeran. No,
Ed Sheeran. Okay.
The ginger
Ed Sheeran.
guy.
Gotcha.
No,
Gotcha.
that.
Yeah,
Okay, no.
Sorry, I was wondering. I was wondering what Ed John knows about shearing sheep.
You should never question that.
Oh, I'm not ruling it out.
He could,
very
no,
well
he
could, yeah.
Could be a good sheep shagger.
It could be old school sheep
shaver?
shearer, because it's shearing sheep. You shear sheep, and that's why you're a sheep shearer.
No.
That's because you have shears that shear sheep. Shiny
So that makes you the shearer.
fur. Yes, so you're the shearer.
Okay.
You're the shearer because you have the shears. You shear you shear is a verb too. So you have the shears to shear the sheep. You're the shearer of the sheep. You're the sheep shearer.
So if you're a woman, you're a
Sheesh.
sheep shearing shearer.
You're a shearess.
Okay.
You're a sheep shearing shearess.
Well,
No, that's sexist. That's
It-
that's sexist.
yeah, that's very misogynistic of
yes.
you.
Yes. Well, who doesn't like a good massage?
Police
Police in Pennsylvania said they were able to identify and arrest a burglary suspect when a stolen stove fell from the back of his pickup truck. North Huntingdon Police, not with a T, with a D, North Huntingdon Police, said officers, it's important to point that out, said officers responded to a Tuscan Hills housing plan on the report of a suspicious pickup truck that matched the description of a truck believed to be connected to thefts in the area. A local resident was able to capture the truck's license plate on camera. Police said officers on their way to the scene received a report of a stove falling from the back of a pickup truck on Route 30. Investigators said the suspect, Gary Cawley, 40, attempted to get the stove back into the truck bed but was unsuccessful and ended up fleeing the scene. Because sometimes you just got to leave the stove and get on out the crime scene.
I have relatives that live in that area.
I'm not surprised. I'm guessing they're still upset they didn't get that stove. I'm just saying,
Let's just say, as you started with that one, I'm like, please don't be anyone I'm related to in this story. Please.
Yeah,
I really don't want to go.
seems
Well,
like
funny you
there's a
brought that
good
one up.
chance.
That's my
Remember
cousin.
that story I told earlier about the mailbox? That was her.
It was her. That's my sister. Yeah, I gets a little dicey occasionally.
Yeah, that's funny. So we have run through our news stories, but fortunately it's getting close to time to wrap up. So I know we have the show at WO Rights on Thursday. That starts at what time?
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. Okay, I couldn't remember.
It's all right.
I'm glad one of us knows. So
We're a team.
Might get there on time. What's that?
We're a team here. One of us will show
absolutely. Yeah. If I don't show up, just do my jokes for me.
It's all right.
Yeah.
I
If
will.
you don't show up, I don't know any of yours because I haven't stayed in here to watch because that's the kind of a jerk I am.
No, that's cool. No one actually does. I mean, it's just I'm kind of in theory a comic. No one actually.
Oh, okay.
Actually
You're a
watches.
theoretical comic.
Theoretical comic. Yes.
Okay. You have performed comedy, right?
Oh, of course.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. In theory.
In theory. And
Yeah,
you've
I mean-
performed in theory.
In
so.
theory, yeah. I mean,
Okay.
It's funny because you get out there and you start doing it, and your first time you're like, why doesn't everybody know who I am? And then after you do it a few times, you realize, crap, even when I get famous or more notoriety, no one's going to know who I am either because I started to meet some of the bigger acts, and I mean, I don't I don't really know who I couldn't pick them off because I'd heard them over the radio, so they could walk by me at TGI Fridays and I wouldn't know who they were.
Right, yeah, you're still even when this show goes viral and we all get super well known for being on the Life Radio show, we're still hardly going to get recognized because if we'd have been in the studio, they have the cameras in there and we've been going Facebook Live, but here nothing.
Good thing I didn't have to get dressed today.
So, well, the thing is, I haven't even been recording. Honestly,
That's awesome.
I get lonely and I like to have people to talk to. So
I like the way you did this.
Yeah. Well, it looks more official than just randomly. It's kind of weird if I just invite people into the club with nobody else around. This way. I have some equipment set up. It's like, oh, this is serious business, and nothing comes from it. So,
well, I mean, the cameras are probably in the bathroom anyways.
Yeah,
that's where the money shots are.
Oh yeah. All right. Do you have any shows coming up?
I do. I have the Barrel on the 25th this month.
Oh,
too,
okay. The
Springboro.
Barrel down in Springboro. That's a great room.
That is a great room. It's been fantastic shows every time I've been out there. Crowds are really, really into it. I'm looking forward to that one. So
awesome. Yeah.
See what else falls my way.
There you go. Well, thanks for coming in. It's been a lot of fun. I enjoy crazy stories that aren't mine because I've told mine so many times I'm bored with them. But thanks for coming in, Dan Andrick. It's been a pleasure. We're going to go ahead and get off of here because it's time. I'm tired. I'm ready for a nap. Thanks for tuning in. We will be back. We'll be back live next week with Charlie Hester will be back in the studio with us. We'll also be in here with who else? Who else is coming in? There's some other people I know. Tyler Carson's going to be in, and I believe Scotty Mays may be in, but I'm going to have to check that because every time the last 4 times I booked Scotty, he's had to cancel on me. So we'll see if Scotty's able to make it. I think he's just ducking me.
He's a busy guy,
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to remember if he owes me money because usually when people duck me that much, it's because they owe me money. So we'll see what happens.
Throw it out there. Maybe he doesn't remember he doesn't owe you money.
Yeah, Scotty, where's that 50 I loaned you? All right, we'll be back live next week. Tune back in. Thanks for sticking around on this one, and have a wonderful week. Thanks for listening to the Life Radio Show podcast. Check us out on Eventide Entertainment Podcast Network or wherever you listen to podcasts. Remember, if you want to listen live, we're on Tuesdays from 7 to 9 p.m. on WWSU 106.9 FM, with repeats on Wednesdays from 10 to noon and Thursdays from noon to 2. You can also stream the show live at WWSU1069.org. If you have suggestions or comments for the show, feel free to email thelife1069@gmail.com.
The brutal presence overwhelms me. The brutal presence overwhelms me.
I like where this is going.